During the World Championship playing stage, I think there's been one mid laner that's been standing out more than all the rest, and that's C9 Jensen. It's no secret that C9 allocate a lot of resources to Jensen, but I mean, it's obviously for good reason. He knows how to use the resources, turn them into advantages, snowball the game, and get the wins. Today I'm going to be looking at a game where he played LeBlanc into Lucian. It was his first game. He absolutely stomped Brazilian mid Bruiser. He had a 39 CS lead at 10 minutes. Now, in competitive terms, I don't think this has happened in recent times in the mid lane. This is just such an insane advantage early on. Obviously, Bruiser, I think that he had a lot of flaws in his gameplay. He really didn't... It seemed like he didn't know many mid lane fundamentals, wave control and stuff, but today I'm going to be showing you guys what Jensen did to get this advantage, how he snowballed the game, and how he played the matchup. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Okay, so heading into the game, I'm going to show you the runes and masteries Jensen runs. It's a standard AP versus AD page, scaling health, magic pen, you got scaling AP, scaling cooldown reduction, and obviously AP quints. If you're going to go into an AD matchup on an AP, this is a pretty good page to run. I think the more important thing to look at is summoner spell choice. Jensen has teleport while Bruiser goes ignite. I think Bruiser's biggest mistake is this ignite. It costs him his early pressure. I think that even though the ignite is going to pressure you in for early kills, it also pretty much puts a huge sign on your head saying, hey Contracts, hey Smoothie, gank me early, blow my flash, and then I'm going to die within the next 5 minutes because I have no flash, no cleanse. If Jensen lands the chain, I'm dead. I really don't know why he went the ignite. It doesn't make any sense to me in a competitive game. He kind of wanted the only thing that makes sense is that he wanted to snowball early into a second or third item QSS, but even then, it still makes no sense to me why he would do that. You'll see later on why he gets exploited for it. We've got to watch the player... We have no player pulse, so we have to watch the minimap a little bit during this game. So Lucian goes to the push early. Stock standard, level 1 and 2, Lucian wins. Level 3 onwards, I would say LeBlanc would win. A little bit of trading going on. It's an even trade in the mid lane. The one thing you have to look at is that Jensen is letting the wave push into him. It's going to crash. Well, Lucian wanted to crash. Jensen doesn't. Jensen wants to cop the freeze and call Contracts over to get the gank. I mean, it's such a textbook play right now. Look at the wave. Jensen has the freeze on. Bruce is stuck there with hardly any vision out. He's got one ward over onto the Wraiths. Now, watch here. You can actually see Bruiser has vision on Contracts coming over mid bot side. So it starts to hover mid top side, but in my opinion, he doesn't position correctly. So he knows Contracts is going to be around. LeBlanc's going to be level 3 soon. He cannot be extended right now. There's just no reason for it. Now, his trinket came up just then. Should have placed a bot side and hugged. He should have been hugging down in the river there. The top side river, he should be hugging, ordering the wave, and if see Contracts come across, you walk over and dash over the terrain. Instead, he's in the middle of the wave. Jensen misses his skill shot. Trades flashes. Jensen flashes here for no reason. Jensen made a mistake, thought he could get the kill. Didn't come anywhere near it. Bruce actually has a lot of health with the Dorians, but the key thing to watch is there's no flash on Bruiser until 8 minutes 30. Obviously, C9 is going to time that. 5 minutes no flash on Bruiser. He's going to say to Smoothie, Impact, Contracts, return gank right, literally within the next 5 minutes, and we're going to kill him. Now, watch what Jensen does here. He has TP. He freezes the wave. He pulls it. He gets the whole wave to take aggro. He moves into the mid lane side brush. Drops the aggro. Moves back to lane. Gets the perfect freeze. And now he's going to teleport back and continue to freeze and harass. Bruiser has no flash. Has no pink ward. So there's really nothing Bruiser can do except for go for the hard shove. Call his jungler to come across. The Bruiser returns to the lane. Jensen still has the freeze on. Now here is where he starts denying CS. Smoothie looks to the roam. Rek'Sai looking to collapse as well. Look at that freeze. He has to give... Bruce is missing these CS. He's getting the XP for now, but later on, Jensen starts zoning him away from XP, which is kind of... it's where the mid lane really goes wrong. CS is not that big of a deal, but the XP advantages really mean a lot, especially in this matchup until LeBlanc. Still has the freeze. Look at this, denying all these creeps. There's another creep gone. He calls the Nidalee to shove it in. Now this is massive because the Nidalee has to be around mid side, and it just enables the outer lanes to do well. It's already 34 to 19 at 5. So not only is Bruiser getting denied, he's also missing creeps in lane. Just blatantly missing. Now Jensen doesn't... Look, watch this. He just keeps the freeze. He wants to continuously pressure Bruiser without the flash. This is exactly what you want to do. You can do this in any of your solo queue games. If you had the mid lane advantage, ping your jungler, get the freeze like this, and then literally on every CS, just move up. Make him think that you're going to go in and just deny him the CS. It's pretty simple, actually. It's not that hard. The wave is actually going to push back into Bruiser here. There's nothing Jensen can do against this push. It's going to hit the tower and crash. Unless Bruiser decides to shove it back, I don't really recommend he do that. I think Bruiser chucked the Q out. See that right there? He denies the cannon. Denies the cannon CS and XP. Just by moving up on it. The cannon got into a really bad spot there. Bruiser has to sit back and still give these creeps. The waves, he's going to get some CS here as the wave crashes, but he's already had to give 20 CS. It's pretty embarrassing for him that he went Ignite. If he had the cleanse, I really think he could have survived the early game and definitely held up. At least gone somewhat even. Down 5, maybe 7 CS, but this is way too much CS for a competitive mid to have. It's Jensen just laughing at him. He sees Rek'Sai mid top side, so he's going to start hovering towards bot side. Now all Contracts had to do was show. Now Bruiser in his mind thinks, okay, I'm going to get Dove here. Calls the jungler. Nidalee's gone, okay, where are they? See here, at this point, you have to think that the Contracts is going to look to gank you because you have no flash. So he just has to hug, give all of this XP and CS. Jensen pressures up, makes it look like Contracts is there. I'm guessing he's going to cull the wave Bruiser and try and get a reset. Culls the wave. Jensen always hug towards your jungler side. Goes top side towards his jung. Worst part about that was Bruiser had to share all of that XP with Nidalee. Now watch Jensen right now. Watch Jensen. You can do this as well, guys. Now he sees that Bruiser wants the back. He pulls the wave. He goes for the wave pull. Freezes. Now Bruiser has to stay. And then he's going to get denied another whole wave. Every time you can, drag that wave, get the freeze on and start denying. Because their wave is just going to whittle away your wave and the enemy is going to miss all that CS. Calls a jungler again, gets the shove on. Now Jensen knows Bruiser has the back in. Bruiser has no TP, so you're going to want to shove this into tower right now. Another wave going to be gone. Jensen just playing this... The wave manipulation by Jensen in this pre-10 game is almost perfect, I would say. It's a shame some of his skill shots missed, but other than that, his wave control has just been absolutely perfect, and I guess Bruiser has just been punished for it. He ordered the wave too many times, let the shove get in. Other than that, the Ignite really let him down. He can't move in, because if he had the cleanse, he could at least move in, shove, and then if the Jensen goes to the chain, he just cleanses the chain and pieces out. If the cleanse is down, but at least he didn't die, but now he has the Ignite, has to give everything. It's actually ridiculous. 36 to 72 right now. Bruiser does not want to push. What's this wave going to do? I think it's a little bit even right now. Now Jensen can kind of dictate the game. I missed out. I should have mentioned the biggest thing at 7 minutes right there was that Contracts stole the blue from Lucian. Now this is Contracts and Jensen just playing extraordinarily well. When Jensen made Bruiser back, he says to Contracts, go steal that blue. If the Lucian has no blue, he is fucked. Recently, Lucian got a massive nerf to his mana cost. Costs a lot more mana now for Lucian's spells. Lucian gets denied blue. There's literally nothing they can do. Obviously, Team 1 knows that, but Nidalee has to peace out here. You do not want to skirmish against a Fed LeBlanc. Impact's trolling. Now LeBlanc's going to get this blue, and... I mean, Jensen in his mind would definitely know the game's almost over. 83 to 44 here. 39 CS lead. At 10. Now the blue's coming up. He's either going to shove for the blue or let it freeze. He's just going to leave the wave and then go to the blue. Normally you like to shove for the blue. Contract's not actually starting the blue. Maybe they're going to go for the kill here. They want to deny Bruce this whole wave again. God, this is brutal. If they can deny this wave, it's actually insane.
11 minutes into the game, Vedius, and we still have no objectives claimed, no kills taken. Cloud9 trying to change that now with plenty of pressure here into the mid lane.
Now what, like, the team is just working together to try and deny this Bruiser. He's getting so far behind from this. Has to share all of this XP now with 3. That's the worst part. Sharing XP is just going to put you even further behind on CS. It's already 2 levels. 2 levels in a mid lane matchup on something like LeBlanc, who scales a lot of hitting power spikes, such as level 11. You're gonna get punished so much. Take the jungle control because the mid lane is so low. Everything's snowballed through mid. Good TP by Impact. There's no way one can fight because of how weak Lucian is. There's no way. Now I have to say, like, this loss, I mean, the mid lane matchup obviously is not a 1v1, but Jensen knows how to exploit the mid lane matchup not being a 1v1. His team puts a lot of resources. Goes to all-in. Gets the kill. Great play. I think he died. Yeah, he dies for this. In my opinion, I don't think he should have went for it because the wave's crashing. He loses out quite a lot. A little bit greedy by the Jensen, I think. Ends up working out. It's fine. Jensen has TP as well.
He wanted to set up Vert for success, but then Contracts comes out at the clutchest moment. The follow-up from Smoothie as well provides.
Brissa just bought the wrong item. What the fuck is he doing? He's stressing out, doesn't know what to buy. He's in base. Goes to the Hex Drinker. God, his power spike is so delayed now. Going for the the Blade of the Ruined King. Jensen played this all in well.
Here's a replay of how Jensen found Bruiser. So Bruiser still doesn't have his flash up. He wanted to just clear the wave and back off.
God, Impact has... Xeno has really good macro. Their communication and synergy together is so good. Especially Impact. His TP plays, his global plays are insane. One of the best top laners right now with the globals, I think. Ooh. Well played, Smoothie. Now Smoothie's roamed mid 4-5 times. Redbird, I think, once. And now it's just to pick up a wave. Smoothie's putting a lot of impact on the map. Contracts is out. Contracts is really proactive. Nidalee is more so reactive here. She has to react to all of Contracts ganks and just look out for Bruiser, babysit him. It's the most annoying thing as a jungler for your laner to be so far behind. LeBlanc has blue. He's gonna... Jensen can freeze here, he can poke, he can go for the tower, he has all control of the lane. Keep denying CS, it's so brutal. Bruiser finally is going to get a blue buff though, which is massive on Lucian. You can finally start shoving. Without blue, shoving is kind of like not optimal because you're going to eventually run out of mana. Just from your spells cost so much.
They're off to a great setup for later on to the game. You can also take a look at the items. The gun blade completed for Jensen.
So Jensen is around about 1,000 gold lead.
Power spike on that one. The power of the active making it so easy to hit the chain and just make the rest of the entirety of your combo go off. Righteous Glory will be the first item for Impact.
Now I want to see how he plays this. Usually with TP, you want to get in the side lane, but you need the outers to drop first. So they really want to influence like bot lane or top lane to drop. Go into a 1-3-1 if they can. Or at least rotate their bot lane out and put Jensen inside.
I think this is one of the first times that I've seen Kog'Maw in pro play without the Dogmaw in a long time. It feels good, man. It feels good. You don't like the dog? I hate that skin.
Pugmore is actually the most annoying skin. Jensen decides to shove and get control. He's done. This is the point. Okay, so he's decided, okay, I've won lane hard enough. I don't need to freeze and deny anymore. He's already so far behind. I need to impact the map. So he shoves. He's probably going to keep shoving now, just rotating to bot, rotating to top. Just looking to dive and put pressure on, but Bruce is stuck mid shoving because of LeBlanc has actually a really good push. You W the entire wave into a Q. You can pretty much insta clear as soon as you hit Gunblade. You can insta clear. It's pretty disgusting, and then you just roam straight through the river. It's really nice. Almost a 50 CS lead at this point.
But the big difference between this now is that C9 they have a lot of engaged
46 at 15.
Yeah.
I think he's just going to keep shoving and looking for roams. Even start pressuring in on the mid lane tower because your autos do quite a lot with Gunblade.
With the dominance that Jensen has over his lane opponent, along with the pressure,
Just like they just open the entire map because of the mid.
C9 is setting themselves
Mid priority means that Rek'Sai can do whatever he wants. Nidalee kind of stuck, babysitting Bruce's still.
playing with side lane pressure.
And Jensen now just shoves in, gets control through the jungle. This is what you should always do when you get a lead in the mid lane. Don't just. A lot of people ask me, what do I do mid beast? I can win mid, but nothing happens. As soon as you've won mid and you've made their enemy mid behind, you have to really exploit the map. Stand it all in. Brewster didn't have the cleanse. If he had cleanse, would have escaped. I mean, I'd really like to ask him, why did you go to Ignite? Like, were you going for the early level 1, level 2 kills or something? Because it didn't even look like it in lane. He didn't pressure that hard in lane. And you have to know against C9, Contracts is just going to sit mid. He does it every game. Contracts literally just sits mid. It's ridiculous how much resources they put towards Jensen. Also, blind picked the Lucian. Very mechanical champion. If you pick a Lucian, I mean, if you're skilled enough, it's pretty hard to lose lane. You should at least be able to go even.
The support and the mid laner are 100 gold apart right now on the side of Team 1 Esports, which is really not a
fucking coin, man.
Guys, that Lucian is going to be all aboard the struggle bus, trying to get his way back into relevancy. So now things go into the big game.
Jensen just keeps shoving, rotating. Do you see how this is all stemmed from mid lane though? Jensen enables the entire map to be open. Shoves mid, roams top.
Only momentarily here. Impact thinking about going into this one, finds the flash into the taunt onto Redbird. Manages to get himself away for now, but the winds of war blow in the favor of Cloud9 and find their mark contracts.
Oh man, this is so brutal to watch for them.
Damage absolute now going to be taken down by Sneaky. 2 for 0 going the way of Cloud9. The Kog'Maw body will.
Now it's just like you can 1-3-1. You put your bot lane mid. Jensen can probably go bot or top. Now they look for the Drake, they look for the Rift Herald, and they just look to close out.
They can feel the gold advantage in their pockets, and they are forcing.
At this point, guys, the game is over. I'm not sure if it's worth me continually talking about it. I might as well just finish off the game, but I think it's only another 10 minutes or so. But I mean, that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about. How Jensen used that wave control and the freezing, knowing the enemy has no flash, just to exploit the enemy, take over the map, really pressuring the bot lane, pressuring the top lane. You saw what he did. As soon as he got the lead, he started shoving, looking for roams. I actually really want to see what Jensen does now. I think he's going to jump into a side lane. If I was him, I would, because I have teleport. You let your bot lane sit mid. A lot of people ask me, when do you go to a side lane mid beast? Usually when your outers like this drop, straight to a side lane. Especially if you have the teleport. You sitting in the side lane means you're not sharing XP at all, guys. You're not sharing any XP. You're not sharing farm with your jungler who tries to take XP. I know in solo queue a lot of times, if I'm sitting mid, my whole team will stack there and share XP. And then eventually, if my enemy mid's in a side lane, come mid game, they're 1 or 2 levels above. And that's the difference of winning and losing. You need to make sure you're not sharing XP or CS as a mid laner. If you're going to be like a solo carry, if I'm a solo carry on any type of like large carry, I hate sharing XP or CS. Jensen goes top. You can do this on Echo, you can do this on TF, Kassadin, anything with like globals. If I was playing something like a Syndra though, I dislike splitting on immobile carries with no globals. You can still do it. It's still doable, but I like to have Storm Raiders if I'm playing Syndra just side lane just to get out a little bit. Give me some mobility. Jensen spots Brewster out with the clone. Really smart use of it.
It's definitely a statement to make, and if you make it work,
C9 know the game over. There's no way there's no way the enemy comes back unless they fuck up extremely hard with the cog.
wording it as a statement, because this team, if you look at the way their games ended, even in their own region, wins and losses were both very decisive for them. And when when you're decisive, when you both
I'm surprised Jensen didn't go for the Gunblade in the Lichbane build. Just the big dick build and just go for the towers. It's such a nice split pushing build, but he goes safe. I think he's probably going to go for either a Banshee or a Morello. And what you see in the side lane, he pushes the lane, goes up, gets vision, make sure there's no pings, all that type of stuff in the jungle. Then he shoves again and gets his team to wrap around. This is just enabling the full jungle control. It's exactly what you want to do, in solo queue even. Contracts has a sweeper, make sure your jungle has a sweeper. Sweep it all and just sit there and wait for picks. In solo queue, guys, people will come through and try and get vision. It happens every time. Competitive play, not so much. Jensen actually got out-traded super hard there. I'm sure he should not have done that. They had the free tower. Bruce has hit his spike. Blade the Ring King with a Hex. That's pretty much the biggest spike he's going to have at this game, I think. He needs to go into a Black Cleaver, PD, IE. Last item. I mean, he needs the QSS as well. Now he's got a Hex Drinker. He needs the QSS. It's... Oh, man. I'm actually so tilted. He's going to have a Hex Drinker, and he's going to have a Merc. It's really not optimal for him. I mean, into a Galio and LeBlanc, you need QSS or Cleanse. Barisa actually ended up being subbed out for the other Brazilian mid lane who actually performed and got them out of the original groups to the best of 5 things. And he played much better. So I think this game was actually one of the games that made them kind of bench Bruiser and try to get some other type of strategy going because Bruiser just wasn't doing it. LeBlanc pushing up top again. And they go for the pick in the junk. God. Jensen's chain hit rate has actually been really low this game.
I also want to go ahead and highlight the fact this is not Cinderhulk, Knight's Vow, tank for the team.
Holy shit, they're going for the Baron already. I mean, there's not much the enemy can do. It's kind of a risky Baron in my opinion. Against a Nah. I don't know if they commit. 1-for-1. Bruce has no mana. Why does he have no mana? He probably used it to clear the waves. That's the problem with Lucian. You need the blue buffs. You need to conserve mana. Get that. Oh, nice. Oh, this feels bad, man, to watch. Really good synergy by C9. So they commit to the Baron. I don't think they were ever, like, obviously if the enemy weren't going to contest it, they would commit, but as soon as they saw that that Brazilian team was going to commit to contest it, they decided, okay, we're looking to turn, we can win the 5v5, we can win the 4v4, just go to fight, because you want to draw them out. And then once you draw them out, then you look for the Baron rush if you ace them. So they'll probably reset, look for the Baron again. Keep denying vision, looking for picks. The only way that I see Team 1 winning is if Narb gets like a 5-man ultimate into a Cog just getting free autos. But into a Galio, into a Rakan, there's not much you can do. LeBlanc's sitting back a little bit, just waiting for the moment. In LeBlanc in teamfights, you kind of either go all in for their backline, or you can sit, like he sits on Sneaky. I see Jensen's LeBlanc a lot. He just sits on Sneaky, getting chains off and making sure no one touches Sneaky, so Sneaky can just free auto. That was a lucky chain. He was definitely going for the Morg. He goes for the... Okay, he goes for the Morello. Wants that cooldown reduction. A little bit of mana regen. Rather than the Banshee. The Banshee would be nice to have against things such as Morgana, but... the Morello's more damage. More cooldown reduction. It's much better for sieges and stuff like that. You have a lot of like mana regen to keep on going in, going out. Alright, what are they waiting for here? Maybe they might be waiting for Impact's teleport. Playing slowly.
from the Ginsu.
Mountain Drake would be nice before the Baron as well.
Buffing up those living artilleries and just making him stronger in general with the spell casting. Adaptive Helm going to do a lot to reduce that damage output.
Alright, Jensen's looking for picks now.
Jensen means
At this point, level 14,
oh man, it's scary.
honestly, at level 13, when you get the max in the Q and the E, you do a lot of damage. If you land something on a squishy carry, you will one-shot them.
Not a lot going to be taking this guy down very soon, but speaking of stuff getting taken down,
Yeah, Jensen just make sure that they don't take control of the Baron vision.
that one for the team means they're going to have two of those now.
Should be able to get a kill here.
Baron is that much scarier. Redbird,
Oh,
ooh, just barely getting away with the
he could have killed them if the rest of the team didn't follow up.
single hit from the chain.
The best bit about the Gunblade on LeBlanc, I love it, is if you get poked out, I mean, you just heal straight back to full from the Gunblade. It's ridiculous.
That's one pretty much needs to find Cloud9 going too deep, like what we talked about with Jensen, trying to find that kill on.
Yeah. They need to pick into a Baron and then just keep on holding out. The Kog'Maw is actually coming to items here.
Of an audacious play and punish them for it. Yes.
Like, if Kog'Maw right now gets a clean team fight just autoing, he's actually going to shred it.
This game now for Team 1 Esports to really stand a chance.
It's on Smoothie, it's on Contracts, and Jensen to just blow the Cog up.
Win condition later on, but given how tanky Impact is and how much solid of a front line, it's going to be challenging. So
I wonder if the reason Bruce didn't go cleanse because they had the Morgana with the Morgana shield. That's such a bad option though, because you'd want to be getting onto the Cog. Oh man, I got so many questions for that guy.
being able to get clean victories over your opposition is going to set you up nicely when that group's adjusting to goal. Orland trying to go in and steal
Had to commit for that.
instead. He
The game's done now.
his way
They should be able to siege into a close.
Cloud9 grabbing Baron just shy of 27 minutes.
Now watch LeBlanc goes top.
Jungler in the process.
So, as a mid lane with TP, you don't want to group up on your team. You want to make sure your side waves are pushing in. I think Impact set up that slow push in the bot lane before he left.
Is the Baron
And now Jensen's going to go top. They're going to go in mid. They'll either rotate or commit for the inhib.
steal it? They're allowed
Yeah, they're going to rotate top onto the Jensen.
to winning late game fights.
As a mid laner, always make sure there's two waves prepped. Because if they clear one wave, just try and rotate on the second wave.
Away the objective, and now with the Baron, but C9 they just start to play on both mid and top. A slow push in the bottom lane.
I think they shouldn't have cleared that minion wave. They could have let two minion waves stacked and gone for the siege.
Start to lose.
They decided to reset for gold. They're probably sitting on quite a lot each.
I think it comes down to is the
Now Jensen's got the void. He's ahead of the curve, ahead of all the MR. He's negated everything. Enemy team's gone 3 mercs, but it doesn't matter. Jensen will one-shot them now. He has the void. He has too much.
there, and you let
Too much pen, too much AP.
play out like it is right now, but without trying to contest it,
Unlocked.
giving the game away. Yep. There's only so many things that you can sit by and abide.
The problem with LeBlanc is when you go even and you come into the mid to late game and you cannot one-shot the carries. It's the only problem on LeBlanc right now. And a lot of the time in solo queue, sometimes the games get dragged on longer than you want to because if you try and force sieges, you die.
Super obnoxious.
But Jensen's got no problems right now.
Absolute is in some danger. Oh, Smoothie wants to go after him, but he's
Fucking
not quite
Smoothie.
able to find his way in there with the quickness. Tier 3 turret going down though. Impact going into the full lines of Team 1.
Watch how Jensen plays.
Yeah, but Cloud9's not even concerned about that.
Always up, kind of pressuring, but making sure no one's touching.
Lane inhibitor Jensen still looking to go for the damage
Ooh.
onto Redbird, nearly 100 to 0ing him. Vert trying to go in on these guys. Now he's going to get rooted. Now he's going to get taunted. Wins the
Jensen just hovering, getting as much damage as he can off.
can't do a lot.
I mean, it's not as though they're getting anything from this, though. Their outers are really bad. They need bot and top pushing in.
Jensen or Impact down into the bottom lane. More likely going to be Impact. And then the rest of the
Jensen's looking for the one shot.
even going to go back and base. They're just going to keep the push.
At this point, level 16 on LeBlanc, you just go for the one shot from the AD. Level 16 is huge.
over with. They want to walk away with the convincing
The
win.
orders in. It's not that hard to do. Literally just WE into an autos and Qs. It's
Fully correct. He was not even past that rock thing in your
once you're ahead on LeBlanc, it is obnoxious how much damage you do.
Team 1. The rock thing in your base is about as far out as you can go before Jensen can be a threat of 100.
Just ordering.
Cloud9 now taking out the top lane and
You might look for the assassination on Morg.
2 lanes
You
down.
can 2QR with an auto in between.
They're not even that concerned about the bottom lane. Marching up mid now to finish off the Nexus turrets themselves. Absolute still dead for another.
They're just gonna straight up close out. They're too strong.
Already down. Impact on the front line, dashing in there with the Justice Punch to keep Vert away. Vert does have a full Mega Gnar bar. Contracts finding the Prey Seeker there onto Red. Vert turret nearly
Oh, smooth. That was fucking juicy, dude.
the last fight of the game gonna be breaking down as Cruiser gets deleted by Sneaky, a killing spree for the Cloud9 AD carry. Redbird walking himself away.
Alright, perfect. So Jensen ends the game 5-1 and 7. Ends up the CS lead doesn't really equate too much in the late. It's all about that early game pressure. Making sure Bruiser is irrelevant. Making sure that Jensen has the first mover advantage. Contracts, making sure that Bruiser has no blue early on. It's just a lot of team play. All just making Bruiser relevant. Feeding Jensen. Making sure he gets the snowball. Would I say Jensen hard carry this game? Probably not. I'd say it's mainly due to team play, but all in all, great performance by Jensen. And I think you can take away a lot for your solo queue games in this. Just looking at how you can exploit enemies that have no flash, or even just weak enemies when you have advantages with the freeze. Pull the wave into the mid lane side brush, drop the aggro, move back with the freeze, and then just start denying CS, moving up, hovering back and forth, continuously pressuring them off CS and XP. That's about it for today, guys. I might be doing more of these during Worlds, depending if people like them or not. So until next time, peace out.